Instead of doing a review where I talk about how good the story, animation, sound design, etc. was, I want to point out things I thought were cool from Attack on Titan's first season. So let's get started. I enjoyed how the show's tone changed anytime a Titan appeared on screen. When I started the show, I couldn't quite get behind the safety behind the walls mentality that Eren and Armin were trying to fight against, but those perspectives became entirely justified the moment the Titans breached the wall Maria. The Titans destroyed everything in their wake, and the more we learned about the Titans, the more we realized how much of a threat they actually were. Even when we started to gain hope as the crew learned to use the maneuver gear and as Eren unlocked his ability to transform into a Titan, we're still reminded of the world's unforgiving nature after losing Eren's squad not once, but twice. And I found it refreshing how expendable these characters were, especially Levi's squad, who was supposed to be among the strongest humanity had to offer. Because if not them, then whom could humanity rely on? Obviously, the responsibility lies with Eren, but I have mixed feelings about the plot armor his ability gives him. Taking Eren out of the picture early had piqued my interest, but bringing him back also brought the show back into standard shonen territory. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just his supposed death gave me hopes for something else. Along similar lines, I also have mixed feelings about the implication that humans are the ones behind humanity's Titan-driven downfall, but I'll reserve my opinion on that as that part of the plot develops with further episodes. Attack on Titan's abrupt timing served a few key functions, the first of which being comedic relief. For example, Captain Hanji appearing before Eren's cell and Oluo biting his tongue shouldn't have been startling bits, but they were in a way that added humor to an otherwise dark show. That said, the same abruptness that makes us laugh is the same abruptness used to make us despair. The suddenness of which Eren's teams and various military personnel die is shocking, and it kept me at the edge of my seat at all times. This abruptness was also used in somewhat deeper ways, such as when Annie crashed into the Wallace establishment during their sermon. In addition to the morbid humor displayed here, it also accentuated how absurd the Wallace mentality actually is. And while this is the only example from Season 1 that I can think of, I'll be looking out for similar instances in future episodes. The last function of this timing was to move the plot forward. I'm referring specifically to both appearances of the Colossal Titan, both of which were preceded by obvious red flags. And while I wasn't a fan of the first instance, the second one was pretty cool, and it felt like the story would finally get somewhere from that point onward. Mikasa's backstory and the scenes that followed were my favorite parts of Season 1. While I didn't care too much for the whole humans are still evil despite the Titan calamity bit, I did find it interesting that Mikasa and her mother were the last remaining Asians on Earth. More than that though, it made sense why Mikasa was so attached to Eren after witnessing their first encounter, and it made me dread the moment when Armin would have to break the news to her. Yet despite my expectations, Mikasa's reaction to losing her only anchor in this world was easily the best scene of the season for me. To mask her grief behind a facade of strength in a way that motivated the rest of the crew to fight, to have her fight on despite her conscious resignation of life. I thought those bits were masterfully executed, only to have it somewhat spoiled by Eren showing up as a Titan to protect her. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about this transformative plot armor, but it didn't make the scenes prior to that any less impactful, nor their reunion any less sweet. To be honest, I didn't really care for Eren as a character, and for the most part I still can't say that I do. His desire to leave the walls and satisfy his curiosity despite being advised otherwise is standard shonen stuff, and exacting revenge on the Titans fits the standard Avenger archetype. The only thing that stood out to me was his role in Mikasa's backstory. He not only had the courage to face kidnappers on his own at such a young age, but he also had a tactical approach to give him an advantage, as well as the resolve to kill and, therefore, win. It'll be interesting to see how this resolve is furthered with the addition of his Titan form, especially with the destruction he's already wrought in Season 1. But apart from that, I'll have to let the following seasons give me reasons to invest further into this show's main character. His speech was dope, and I like how he's able to discern the important details of every situation. I didn't like him at first, but damn is he a good guy. I've enjoyed his development so far. Potatoes. There's no way this girl isn't the female Titan. Badass. Badass leader, mastermind, who's also my current favorite character and I'm looking forward to most. I fucking knew it.